I finally got the best park center in NBA 2K24. It took a while, actually, a full week to be exact. I had the game a day early, labbing up some great stuff, and finally got you guys the best center in the game. And of course, this is 1 week in. So let's get into it. It's a defensive anchor. It's a center at 6'9". And don't worry, there's a reason for all of this, okay? First and foremost, you're in the park. You don't need a 7+ center in the park. It is not a healthy sight to see. It's not going to help you with the speed of the game when you're playing threes or twos as much. You can play twos with this as well, but this build right here is overpowered in twos, threes. It could even go to fives, all right? So we're going to get into it. Here it is right here. Now, we want to start off with defense and try to help you understand the versatility of this build, all right? It is able to play solid defense, okay? It's an intimidating 6'9" with a lot of defense, but it is also confusing to people like, hey, what is going on with this guy? Guess what? It has anchor on gold, post lockdown on gold, and workhorse. The reason why these are important: workhorse basically just lets you get loose balls for rebounds, and if you poke the ball from somebody or block them, you'll be able to pick it up. But on the post control, post lockdown here, when there is a big center, they're trying to back you down, you're going to be able to hold them off. And then anchor, of course, in the paint. This is the best value for your buck. You don't have to spend a lot. 85 interior is all you need for this. This, to me, every center should have at least gold. If you're going to really go crazy with it, you can go higher. Personally, that is a must-have. Now, the reason I went for steals on silver for interceptor is because you're the center. Your job is mainly to guard the paint when someone tries to throw the ball in or throw an outlet pass. If you're around there, you got long arms. Interceptor on silver should be decent enough to be able to get some strips at times. But your job is always to protect the paint more than everything. So we didn't want to go too crazy, but we do have interceptor on gold. And then Hall of Fame glove and bronze. I wish it was Hall of Fame. Bronze glove and right stick stripper. Guess what? These two are for your lock. All right. We don't need that for the center. If it's possible, that would be cool to get it higher, but it's not actually that necessary compared to the rest. If you're a good player, you know what I'm talking about. All right. So sitting here with gold anchor, the reason for that, we talked about some of the importance of that, but guess what? Chase down on gold as well. That is top tier stuff. But I wanted to make sure that I had pogo stick on Hall of Fame. The reason why this year's absolutely necessary. If you jump, you're done. So I normally don't jump when I'm in the paint for the most part, unless I see somebody going for a contact dunk or something very specific. Normally I put my hands up. I have a lot of interior D. I'm very long. They're going to miss the shot. This is the best thing to do. And anybody that's good at the game will tell you that. So pogo stick is for when you do make that mistake, it's not going to cost you because you're going to be able to bounce right back on the rebound or the block. And then guess what? When you're in the streets playing twos specifically, but also for even threes, your job is to snag some offensive rebounds. It doesn't matter if you put it on offense or defensive, long as you get rebound chaser, which I do have here, and box out beast. Those are the two must have. And guess what? You get it with offensive and you're able to get more rebounds because it's harder to get on offense. And then, of course, this right here is just to make sure we get defensive rebounds as well. But remember, the badges are on Hall of Fame for rebounding. So I have no problem with an 84 on defensive rebounds. And that's the general setup. We don't have a lot of perimeter, and this could be questionable, specifically when you're playing twos or threes. But guess what? We're going to be able to switch just fine. Our job is to get back to the paint for the most part. If you're playing with good lockdowns and stuff, they'll be able to cover for you for the most part, okay? That being said, we're going to go down to the physicals and go a little haywire here. As you can see, bulldozer when necessary. I can use this when I'm down in the paint, but that's not going to be that much important compared to immovable force. All right, right here, somebody's trying to finish at the rim. you're able to basically stonewall them, let's just say. So think of brick wall on defense. That's what this badge is to me, and I think it's probably one of the best, and I absolutely love it. If I wanted to, I could have got a 95 strength to get on Hall of Fame, but I absolutely know for a fact that on gold it is top tier. You have the actual brick wall on gold as well. You don't want to have to get 99 strength. That's a lot. Costs too much. The best value is going to be on gold. Okay. And you need this because when you want to be a popper, sometimes you're going to have to set a pick if your point guard's having trouble. So you're going to be able to not just be a popper, you could still drive and get to the paint. And we'll talk about that in just a second. An 83 vertical. Why? Because you're going to be jumping for rebounds. You want chase down also on gold here. As you can see, that also works with Pogo to be able to give me some of that. And then of course, Aerial Wizard for alley-oops. And then we go from there. All right, so those are the main stats. A 75 is doable. Honestly, I feel like center should have higher. An 86 should be what everybody aims for. But I made this build so versatile that I needed to sacrifice the 86. A 75 has working on my point guard. So I do believe it can work on my center as well. All right, 77-3. Why? Guess what? I got silver catch and shoot, claymore, and corner specialist. That's all I got to say. The rest of these badges, for example, guard up, open look, they're all going to also enhance that. Okay, so this is a must-have setup when it comes to shooting. Now you're wondering, what do I have here? Why do I have this setup? Guess what? 45 gives me some animation for standing dunks. Don't really need much for standing dunks. I'm not going to be in the paint the whole time. I'm driving to the basket on a pick and roll from time to time. But most of all, as you guys know, this is a spot up. He's going to be hitting his shots, and we're going to be going crazy with that. All right. Last but not least, driving dunk. This is probably a sleeper right here. 75. Why does a center not have a lot of driving dunk? Guess what? I'm going to be popping. This is a popper build. But when I need to drive to the basket, or when I do the pick and roll, whether it's through a cut or the slip through the pick and roll, this is going to be pivotal to get some finishes. There's a lot of good animations at 75. All right, so I got all that unlocked. We're gonna be really going in with the dunks. We're gonna be able to pass well, shoot well. Defense is gonna be crazy good. You know, the weakness that this build has, the only weakness is perimeter defense, I would say, and that's not even anything, because your job is to defend the actual paint. Okay, and then you're not going to be dribbling too much, except when you take a thing. 40 is way more than enough. It actually unlocks certain dribble moves when you have that speed, trust me. All right, so with all that being said, that's pretty much the build when it comes to the overall. And again, the main reason I made this was for twos, to have a actual great point guard whenever they need me. I'll come out with this build, basically get all the rebounds, contest everything with my good interior defense and blocks, being able to pass it to them, spot up from the corner for shots. And then I have my 92 strength to be able to have brick wall on gold to get some stops and things of that nature. That's the setup. That is the overall system. And that's how you know this build is going to be goated. I'm extremely excited about this build. The actual name, Defensive Anchor, is cool. I like the name. The shades of really never excite me personally, unless it's my personal favorite players within that position and that setup. Marcus Camby was incredible. These guys are great, but the point of what I'm making is you, the player, get to make the game greater. So you want to focus on your attributes and getting things right. I hope this one was helpful. I do have more, whether it's tutorials for NBA 2K or more builds on the channel. Go check those out, and I'll see you on the court.